Hey everybody, welcome to Reading the Bible to Cats. We have kind of a cluttered shot with some boxes in the background. And Henry, you ready to hear the Bible? Okay, well, we Henry. I don't know why they like. I have I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little work. It's a foldable, portable little shelf/desk that I sometimes put um, on this little um, oh, I don't know what I'm saying. Never mind. Just know that for some reason the kitties like to sit under the thing that I put on the I don't know what I'm saying. Let me just show you. Okay. This thing that I it's a little foldable tiny desk that I perch atop this little piece of furniture, and it's very cluttered right now. But I do that because I have a laptop and I sometimes work and do some work there. But anyway, that's all just unimportant fluff. But for some reason, the kitties like to just lately position themselves under it, and it's not the best shot when you're trying to do a video because now we have a just a tabby blob. Oh well, as you can just look at that lovely little blob there. Henry, you don't want to be the star? Well, I guess the cinematography on this video will be lacking because we don't have a kitty who's turned towards us. But I have a feeling that once I start reading, Guster will hop up here and then I'll turn the camera over to him. Okay, well, let us pounce on Joshua chapter 12. And I'm going to read again from the Archaeological Study Bible, NIV version, and I may read a study note from this Bible as well. Okay, Joshua chapter 12. These are the kings of the land whom the Israelites had defeated and whose territory they took over east of the Jordan, from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon, including all the eastern side of the Arabah. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon. He ruled from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, from the middle of the gorge to the Jabbok River, which is the border of the Ammonites. This included half of Gilead. He also ruled over the eastern Arabah, from the Sea of Kinnereth to the Sea of the Arabah, the Salt Sea, to Beth Jeshimoth, and then southward below the slopes of Pisgah, and the territory of Og, king of Bashan, one of the last of the Rephaites. I'm sorry, everybody, it is I who's speaking, not the Bible. Let me take that verse again because I totally fumbled over my words. I was trying to sound like a a good Bible narrator, but I goofed it up. All right, verse 4. And the territory of Og, king of Bashan, one of the last of the Rephaites, who reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He ruled over Mount Hermon, Selekah, all of Bashan to the border of the people of Geshur and Makkah, and half of Gilead to the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the Israelites conquered them. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave their land to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh to be their possession. These are the kings of the land that Joshua and the Israelites conquered on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon to Mount Halak, which rises towards Seir. Their lands Joshua gave as an inheritance to the tribes of Israel according to their tribal divisions: the hill country, the western foothills, the Arabah, the mountain slopes, the desert, and the Negev, the lands of the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. The king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai near Bethel, 1. The king of Jerusalem, 1. The king of Hebron, 1. The king of Jarmuth, 1. The king of Lachish, 1. The king of Eglon, 1. The king of Gezer, 1. The king of Debir, 1. The king of Cedar. Oh, pardon me, everybody. It is I who is speaking, not the Bible. Mispronounced that name. The king of Geder, 1. The king of Hormah, 1. The king of Arad, 1. The king of Libnah, 1. The king of Adullam, 1. The king of Makkedah, 1. The king of Bethel, 1. The king of Tappuah, 1. The king of Hepher, 1. The king of Aphek, 1. The king of Lasharon, 1. The king of Madon, 1. The king of Hazar. Oh, let me take that over again. It is I who is speaking, not the Bible. It's the king of Hazor, 1. The king of Shimron Meron, 1. The king of Akshaph, 1. The king of Tanaka, 1. The king of Megiddo, 1. The king of Kedesh, 1. The king of Jokneam in Carmel, 1. The king of Dor in Naphoth Dor, 1. The king of Goyim in Gilgal, 1. The king of Tirzah, 1. 31 kings in all. Okay, everyone, that is the end of Joshua 12, and it's, fascinating. I mean, it's a list of these historical figures, these kings. What was interesting to me, and there was something interesting to me. I know you're like, probably surprised, but where was it? Where was it? Where was that verse? That was interesting. Oh, well, verse 7. These are the kings of the land that Joshua and the Israelites conquered on the west side of the Jordan, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon. Yeah, just the mention of Lebanon and what was the other reference? From the middle of the gorge. This included half of Gilead. First, what is? Sorry, I'm just talking to myself actually. Now I have to look up Gilead. Gilead. No, I have to look at Gilead. Hold on a sec. Let's look up Gilead real quick. Get yourself a nice cup of tea or a beautiful cup of coffee. While I look up Gilead. Of course, I'm looking at Wikipedia. Is the ancient historic biblical name of the mountainous northern part of the region of Transjordan. The region is bounded in the west by the Jordan River, in the north by the deep ravine of the river Yarmuk and the region of Bashan, and in the southwest by what were known during antiquity as the plains of Moab, with no definite boundary to the east. In some cases, Gilead is used in the Bible to refer to all the region east of the Jordan River. Gilead is situated in modern-day Jordan, corresponding roughly to the Irbid, Ajlun, Jerash, and Belka governorates. Gilead. Okay, so I guess it's modern-day Jordan. Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, I don't know. We went down a little rabbit trail there, but I have to admit to you that I am geographically challenged, and I mean that like if it if it weren't if it were not for GPS, I would drive in circles because I wouldn't know how to find my way around. So it's hard to like figure out the boundaries here, but anyway, the thing that was interesting to me was the mention of Lebanon, and there was another mention of Lebanon. Where was that? And half of Gilead to the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Well, the Valley of Lebanon. Oh, now I have to look up the Valley of Lebanon. Okay, let's look up the Valley of Lebanon, and then I'll read that archaeological note in the study Bible. Valley of Lebanon. Valley of Lebanon. Oh, they call it. Oh, well, this says Valley in Lebanon. The Becca. I don't know if this is what the Bible is referencing, but there is a valley. The Becca Valley is a fertile valley in eastern Lebanon and its most important farming region. I wonder if that's the valley that is being referenced. The Becca, I don't know, but the Becca is located about 19 miles east of Beirut. The valley is situated between Mount Lebanon to the west and the Anti-Lebanon Mountains to the east. It is the northern continuation of the Jordan Rift Valley, and thus part of the Great Rift Valley, which stretches from Syria to the Red Sea. Bekaa Valley is 75 miles long and 9.9 miles wide on average. It has a Mediterranean climate of wet, often snowy winters and dry, warm summers. Interesting. It's interesting to me because I don't know if I'm sure I mentioned this in one of my videos, but my parents were in the Foreign Service, and when I was a kid, we lived in Lebanon. My dad was posted there in Beirut, and I loved Lebanon. You know, as a child, I wasn't really in tune with all the conflict, even though it was all around. You know what I mean? But it was just they called it the Paris of the Middle East, and you know, you had the beautiful Mediterranean Sea, which after school, I would just float in the Mediterranean Sea. I'd take my inner tube and just float. And then, you know, and then you had the mountains, you have the cedars of Lebanon, and I don't know, there was something really special about it that I loved. But so yeah, so the reference to and the Bible does reference Lebanon a lot. Let me see if I can find out how many times. How many times is Lebanon referenced in the Bible? How many times is Lebanon referenced in the Bible? Lebanon is mentioned. Oh, well, opinion. Well, there are different online. It says a few different things. Lebanon is mentioned in the Bible 75 times, according to the New York Times. I don't know, some opinion piece. I don't know how much. It's mentioned a lot, I find, in the Bible. And then this person, some person says that Lebanon is mentioned 9 times in the Bible as either part of the promised land or the northern boundary of the promised land. Okay, I guess I think Jesus traveled to the southern part of Lebanon near Tyre, but I'm not sure. This person says the Bible mentions Lebanon 71 times. Anyway, that's why that was interesting to me, because I've lived there. Well, oh, this is actually a long video, and you're not saying a really. Can you turn, please? Thank you. We need the talent. Or I'm going to focus on Guster. Hold on, and then I'll just read that. Oops, you're seeing a lot of. Oh no, it's not focused. Guster, can you please focus for me so that we can have a better picture? Okay. Well, and now Henry's turning around. Well, I wanted to read this note from the Archaeological Study Bible. And maybe this will put you to sleep. I don't know. Cultural and historical notes. Canaan. Joshua 12. The land of Canaan, which the Lord had promised to give to Abraham, Genesis 17, verse 8, was recognized as a geopolitical unit in Nuzi texts, 15th century BC. In the in the Amarna letters of Egypt, 14th century BC, and in another ancient Near Eastern sources, Canaanite culture and religion are reflected in the Late Bronze Age, 16th to 12th centuries BC. Literature of Ugarit, Byblos in Syria, worship of Baal as the god of war and of agricultural productivity is prominent in this literature. Esther, I think you're interested in this. I think this is interesting to you. Okay, let me keep reading. The derivation of the name Canaan is uncertain. It may stem from the Semitic root denoting, quote, to be low, unquote, e.g., lowlands, or relate to a purple dye produced by mollusks native to the region. It also has been suggested that the word originally meant merchants, based on usage in some Mari and Egyptian texts, as well as in certain biblical passages in which the word for Canaanite can also be rendered as trader. The Canaanite language was a mixture of various related dialects. Although it appears that there was a higher literary style, all Canaanites shared in common. Ancient Hebrew is essentially a variety of the related Canaanite dialects, while Standard Biblical Hebrew is probably closely related to the literary Canaanite form. The northern border of Canaan extended to Tyre and Sidon. Oops, I got a phone call. Oopsie. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm going to answer this and tell her I'm making a video. Hey, I'm actually recording a video, but I answered the phone. Can I? Okay, I'll call you after. Okay, bye. Sorry, everybody. I'm getting phone calls. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let me just finish reading this and then I'll call my friend back. But I hate that this view is like of the vacuum cord. Okay, now we have to turn to Henry. Henry. Henry, can you turn around? Okay, this is not working well. Let me get the stand-in kitty. We're going to focus on this kitty now, and I'm just going to finish reading my note. Okay, that's a kitty on a book cover, but you can focus on that kitty. All right, let me just finish this note, and then we'll say a prayer. You might be asleep by now, but okay. Okay, yeah, and by the way, I've been to Tyre, and I think I've been to Sidon too as a child. The northern border of Canaan extended to Tyre and Sidon, Isaiah 23, verse 11, veering inland, especially Numbers 34, verse 2 through 12. The eastern border was just east of the Sea of Galilee and along the Jordan River to the Dead Sea. The southern border passed from the Dead Sea through Kadesh Barnea in the northern Sinai Peninsula, and the Mediterranean Sea formed its western border. Canaan thus occupied the middle ground between Egypt, Syria, and Anatolia, and Mesopotamia, and by way of its seacoast was open to Western peoples. Their main ports were Tyre, Sidon, and Byblos. I've been to Byblos, everyone. In modern Lebanon, ships from these ports carried cedar wood, oil, wine, and other goods to Egypt, Crete, and Greece. They brought back linen from Egypt and fine pottery from Cyprus and Greece. Papyrus was carried from Egypt to Byblos. When the Greeks first saw papyrus scrolls, they called them biblia. Excuse me. Quote, Byblos things, unquote, giving us the word. Everybody, can you guess what the word is? It's Bible. So that's where we get the word Bible, from Byblos. The area has a long history as a battleground among great powers, as well as of a region in which diverse peoples lived side by side. The Transjordanian territories of King Sihon and Og, though captured and resettled by Israelite tribes, were neither included in God's original promise to Abraham nor considered a part of Canaan, although both the Moabites and the Ammonites were closely related to the Canaanites and spoke a Canaanite dialect. Israelites of the conquest encountered a mixture of people groups in Canaan, most of them listed in the Table of Nations as descendants of Canaan, son of Ham, son of Noah, Genesis 10, verses 15 through 19. The Bible identifies more than 25 cities as Canaanite, including Gilgal, Hebron, Shiloh, Megiddo, and Hazor. These city-states, each with its own king, were only loosely organized, but readily formed alliances in times of military crisis. See the index to color maps on pages blah, blah, blah in the back of this Bible for the locations of some of these places mentioned in the article. Okay, that's the end of the study note, which I'm sure put everyone to sleep. But I was interested in it, even though I still can't figure out the borders of the promised land. But I have lived in Lebanon, and I have floated in the Mediterranean Sea there, just off the Riviera as a child. And that's why I have to wear sunscreen now, because back then we thought sunblock was a solar eclipse. We didn't know it was something you put on your skin to protect it from the sun. Anyway, let's say a prayer, and then I'll call my friend. By the way, that was my best friend on the phone, and these are her kitties. So she knows that I do these videos of Guster and Henry, who are my nephews. I call them my nephews, but they're like sons to me. But what was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, but she doesn't watch these videos. I don't know. It might be hard for her because she's away from her babies. But anyway, By the way, this is a good book. There is eternal life for animals. Let's say a prayer. Lord, thank you for your word and just the historical record. That's very important. Lord, I pray for everybody who's listening or watching. Um, I don't know if they have fallen asleep. If so, give them sweet rest tonight. And pray for everyone who just needs your spirit to motivate them and help them and um, direct them and to infill them. Pray for your blessing on all those who are listening or watching. Provide for their needs, Lord. If they're struggling with something, bring them through their struggle, Lord. We know we have trouble this side of heaven, but you have overcome the world, Jesus. I pray for the peace of Jerusalem, for the peace of Israel, for your promised land, and for your people. And especially as we read Joshua, we're just reminded of the news, everything that's going on today with that region of the world. It's your story and your land and your covenant people. We just pray for your peace and for the Prince of Peace to return and bring deliverance. And of course, I lift up the hostages again and ask for deliverance, that you would deliver them spiritually and literally. Pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, everybody. Well, sorry the cinematography was lacking today. Yeah. But I guess they're tired. All right, I'm gonna call my friend now. Bye.